the inspiration. He's a child of Ghanaian immigrants in the United States of America, where he was born, studied law, but loves to teach. Kindergarten teacher, I must be specific. Today, he's looking forward to the American elections in November, when he hopes to beat the incumbent Republican candidate so that he can represent his Oklahoma district. Kojo Asamoah Caesar is my guest today, and I'm hoping you'll be inspired and uplifted by his story. Better still, you can convince those you know in the U.S. to vote for him in November. So let's get to it. Kojo, it's good to have you, and good afternoon to you from Ghana. I know it's morning where you are. Let's begin with a brief profile for our audience who have yet to hear about you.
Yeah, Gifty, thank you for having me. My name is Kojo Asamoah Caesar. My parents immigrated from Ghana to the United States in about 1983. Came here chasing the American dream, sacrificed. They weren't able to fulfill their dream, but I was able to go to great public schools, go on to college, be the first in my family to graduate from college, then go on to law school at the College of William and Mary, which is the oldest law school in the United States. And then after graduating law school, decided to become a kindergarten teacher because, my parents had really beat into me this notion of the American dream. And I wanted to make sure that that American dream was real, not just for me, but for kids all around this country. And so became a kindergarten teacher. And have had a great experience there. And now I am running for Congress to represent the 1st Congressional District of Oklahoma. And I actually won the Democratic primary, becoming the first Ghanaian-American to represent a major party here in the United States for Congress. And so I'm excited to move on to November and win the race in November.
It's interesting the way you put it, and I am eager to understand how it works. Here in Ghana, we have a parliament, so we vote for our parliamentary representatives, and then we vote for a president. In the parliament, we have the majority, and the minority. Help us, if you were to describe the Senate and Congress election system to the Ghanaian who does not follow American politics, how would you describe it? Let's just break it down.
Yeah, so here we have 3 main branches of government, right? So we have the executive, then we have the legislative, and the judicial. So the presidential level is the executive, then the legislative level is our Congress, which is similar to Parliament in Ghana. And we have 2 chambers in Congress. We have the House of Representatives and the Senate. All right, and then the judicial branch is the judges. And so I'm running for Congress, which is the legislative branch, and I'm running for the United States House of Representatives. And so we have 50 states, and each state sends a delegation to Washington, D.C. to represent them in Congress. And so I'm in Oklahoma. Here we have 5 people who represent us in Congress. And so I'm in the 1st district. We have 5 districts. I'm in the 1st Congressional District here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so were I to win, I would be going to Washington to represent the interest of Oklahomans in Washington, D.C.
It's interesting. So you won the election in Oklahoma. What do you think make you win? What did you think that made you win back then? Is it that you have a large Ghanaian, American population? What worked for you?
Yeah, so I won we have Republicans and Democrats. And so first we have the primary election to see who's going to represent each party. So I was able to win the Democratic nomination to represent the Democrats in the general election in November. And actually, the district is about 70% white and only about 10% Black and about 12% Hispanic, right? And so we don't have a lot of Black folks in the district, and we don't have a lot of Ghanaian-American folks in the district. In fact, I'm the first Black nominee from the district. I'm the first Ghanaian-American, if you can believe it, who would be in Congress if I was to win, and the first one to have won the nomination. And so I was able to do it by telling my story and telling the story of the American dream and what really makes America great, all right? And the opportunities that I had to be able to fulfill my potential and how we need to make those opportunities available to more and more people, all right? And that if we have people like me succeed, then that means that everybody else can succeed. All right. So that's how we're able to do that.
That's an inspirational story, but we want to get more of that inspiration when we do the linkages, the Ghanaian and the American linkages. I wanted to know about the democratic tussle that you had to deal with before you even got here in the first place. How many people did you compete with, for example, and how did it go at that level?
Yeah, it's tough because I'm a Ghanaian-American. My parents are immigrants. I'm a Black guy, and I'm running for Congress in Oklahoma. So it's going to be tough because, nobody's really done that. So initially, there's a lot of pushback. And I heard a lot of comments about, we don't know if he's the right face. I don't know if Oklahomans will be able to get behind this guy, but we announced early. We were the first to announce way back in November, and we went straight to the people, right? We didn't go to the media, the gatekeepers and kiss the ring. We went to the people because in a democracy, one man, one vote, right? Everybody has a vote. And so we went to the people, we shared our story, our values, and then we listened to them and their stories, right? And the people got behind us. And once the people get behind you, right, nobody can really stop that. And so we were able to, when other elected officials who were looking at running saw that we had the people behind us, a lot of them backed off and said, okay, we're going to go with them. But I had one challenger. So about 3 other people stepped out and decided not to run. But one person did challenge me in the primary, and we were able to win. We got 64% of the vote. That's 34,830 votes to win the primary.
Wow. So this person, was he, I mean, I don't mean to get all the racist thing going, but this person, was he Black? Was he white? Was he Hispanic?
He was, he was a white man, in his, 40s, 50s. He's a lawyer and small business owner, engineer. So, okay. But we were able to defeat him in the primary.
All right. And now you're looking to get into the House of Representatives by beating Kevin Henn, who is the incumbent Republican representative. He's a businessman. I mean, and I'm sure that he's been doing this for a while. He's got the executive, so certainly that's going to be backing him. How do you intend to scale through?
Yeah, well, he's a freshman congressman. He owns McDonald's franchises around town, but this is the first term that he's serving. And we are very excited about our contrast with him because we are very much about public service, right? I've dedicated and committed myself to serving the interests of the public, going from law school to become a kindergarten teacher, being a principal of a school here in our urban school district, serving entrepreneurs in Tulsa. He seems to be somebody who's only interested in serving himself and serving the interests of the rich, right? All he does is trumpet Donald Trump. Whatever Donald Trump says goes. So he's, committed his destiny to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is not doing so well, right? We've had a global pandemic that he's mishandled. The economy has gone into the tanks because of that. And then we have this, Black Lives Matter movement that is sweeping across our nation, this racial unrest, and he has not responded well to that. All he's done is, stoke fears and seek to divide our nation. And so for us, we're seeking to bridge the divide. We're seeking to bring people together. We believe that America is a nation of immigrants. And what makes us great is when we come together to serve the common good. And so that's a message that Oklahomans understand, and we believe they'll show support to us in November. Okay,
well, I can't wrap up this conversation without bringing it home. In fact, that's really my motive for having this conversation. I want Ghanaian young men, Ghanaian young women who are, here in Ghana, who are saying that somebody can do it, work it out all the way to the top, then I can too. So I want you to throw in a little bit of inspiration to our young people. You've spoken to my colleague, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, and you indicated that the last time you visited Ghana, you felt this inferiority complex, defeatism attitude. How did it manifest to you?
Yeah, I think, I remember driving through Kaneshi Market, in the taxi and just, seeing the expression on people's faces and then driving through certain neighborhoods and, seeing that. But I think we have to, it's not our fault, right? That, we just look around us and sometimes we feel defeated when we don't see successful people who look like us, right? And so I'm glad to represent that sense of hope, that sense of possibility. I want Ghanaians to know that I'm just like you. I'm no smarter than you. I'm not better than you. I'm not more special than you, right? And you have the same kind of potential I have. And for our leaders, it's about building communities of opportunity, right? We have to build a great education system where our young people can learn and grow, right? And become all that they want to be. And be able to attract investment, be able to attract businesses, be able to give people the chance to start businesses, right? So they can, bring their talents and their creative abilities to bear. And so I want to say it's okay to dream and dream big. You are worthy of your dreams and you can fulfill them. And last thing is, when you seek to do something different, you're going to get a lot of naysayers. They may even be your parents, and your parents want your best interest, but they're scared, because they've never seen somebody do it before. But you have to realize at the end of the day, it's your life, right? And you're the one that has that small voice in your head telling you how great you are, telling you all the dreams and ideas you have. So you got to trust that voice and work hard, commit yourself to working hard to actualize those dreams. And once you do, it's not going to just help you, it's going to help everybody around you. It's going to help your family. It's going to help your neighborhood and your community and your country. And you're going to make everybody proud. So that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I hope everybody else will dedicate themselves to doing.
I hope that works for people, and I hope that they will hear it, because there's people who hear some of these things and they say, well, that's your perfect motivational speech. But if I look at my life and I look at my situation, I think I need a lot more than that. I certainly hope that this works for some people. But do you speak Tree at all?
A little bit, yeah. I speak Tree, they say if you don't speak it, you lose it. But me country in the way I'm used to, but I speak it a little.
Oh, nice. That sounds quite impressive. And I hope you're teaching your little child, right?
Yes. And quick surprise, she's actually here with me. She's asleep in my arms, while I do this interview.
I almost said romantic. No, that's actually very touching.
Yes. She's
wow.
13 weeks old.
Oh, the things that cameras can do. It's been good having you, Kojo. But for the Ghanaians who have relatives and friends in the U.S. who will be voting in that election, for spending your time with us, I want you to use this platform as well to convince people to go out in November to vote for you.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. So, Ghanaian-Americans all around the United States, right, can get involved. You can go to my website, kojoforcongress.com, KOJOFORcongress.com, learn more about our platform to build an America as great as its promise. And then you can donate and actually support. Because, I am running to represent Oklahomans, but if I'm able to win, I represent hope for a lot of, Ghanaian Americans all around our country. I can tell our story and tell that, we are not to be left out of this. We are part of the American story. We contribute to this country and its greatness, all right? And we can't, and democracy is not a spectator sport. We can't just sit on the sidelines, right? When I was growing up, the message was kind of like, this is not your country. Don't ruffle feathers, just, stay under the radar. But we can't stay under the radar. We have to speak. We're part of this country. We pay taxes just like anybody else. And so you can support my campaign, and I'll be a champion for you, just as I'm a champion for Oklahomans and Americans all around the country.
Kojo, thank you so much for your time, and I sincerely wish you all the best, because I want to sell that story to all the Ghanaian young men and women that I see here, to let them know that if you did it, they can too. Kojo Asamoah Caesar is my special guest for today. He's Ghanaian-American. He wants to remove from the House of Representatives a Republican incumbent. We wish him all the best.